radiobulamasi.com. radiobulamasi.com. Bulamasti Radio viewers and listeners. Natural disaster throughout the year. Let's help rebuild Fiji. Recently, some parts of Fiji has been destroyed by tropical cyclone Yasa. Please donate on the GoFundMe page. The link can be found on the website www.radiobulamasti.com or on Bulamasti Radio Facebook page. Working together with Fiji's Consulate General, Mr. Bobby Naicker, and Ambassador to United Nations, Canada, USA, Mr. Donate from anywhere in the world by simply clicking on the GoFundMe page that can be found on the website www.radiobulamasti.com or Bulamasti Radio Facebook page. Thank you in advance for helping the ones that need the help the most. Call us here at the studio for more information at 604-427-0291. Thank you. Welcome to Radio Bulamasti. I am your host Aisha, and it's such a pleasure. You can listen to Radio Bulamasti. Just have to go onto the internet and type in www.radiobulamasti.com. And yes, this radio operates 24 hours a day. So stay tuned with us for all your current affairs, entertainment, and best programs. Today, it's a pleasure to have Mr. Bobby Naicker with me. And he is the consulate, Fiji's Consulate General here in Canada. So I would like to welcome Mr. Naicker to Radio Bulamasti. Mr. Naicker, hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you, Aisha. And thank you to all the listeners for the pleasure of being on Bulamasti Radio. A very happy new year to all. I know that many of you, like myself, I can't wait for, well, 2020 is over now, but we can't wait to forget 2020 and welcome 2021 with renewed hope for better things to come. And then, first of all, I'd like to begin by thanking this radio station and its listeners for always stepping up to help in any natural disaster in Fiji. It is very important in times of needs of Fiji and other countries. Today, we're going to be talking about Cyclone Yasa, to have such great support from this radio station and its listeners.
Thank you, Mr. Naicker, and it is a pleasure working with you, your team, and also the Ambassador to United Nations, Canada, USA, Mr. Satendra Prasad as well. I know he's been working really hard on this event. So yes, we have to work as one and help our beautiful Fiji make it beautiful again. So yes, as we know, Mr. Naicker, this cyclones happen in Fiji throughout the year, and I'm sure you've seen a lot, you've experienced quite a bit. And today, to our listeners and viewers of Bulamasti Radio, that's what we are here to talk about how Fiji gets affected. And Naicker has much more experience than I do, so I'll get to just talk a little bit about the cyclones and what goes on and how do people actually suffer.
Yeah, so Aisha, let me take you back a little bit. I know that you're listening to different ethnic backgrounds.
That's right.
Your listeners are of different age. So let me tell you a little bit about cyclones and what causes cyclones, because I think it's very important to know, because this is a phenomenon that's going to continue until something is done about greenhouse gas emissions. Unfortunately, natural disasters such as Cyclone Yasa is not a stranger to the Fiji Islands, as well as the rest of the Pacific Islands. the increase in greenhouse emissions are very much responsible for rising sea levels. You've seen that throughout the Pacific, extreme fires, flooding, which is the case right now in Viti Levu, and cyclones. And the cyclones get worse and worse as the more greenhouse gas emissions occurs.
Hmm,
It is
that
for that reason that the government of Fiji and our Prime Minister, Honorable Bainimarama, are the voice of greater global climate change throughout the world. Recently, the UN honored Prime Minister Bainimarama with the highest award for his efforts in being the advocate for climate change. Just for an instance, the temperature has risen by 1.5 degree in the last century. For a such as Fiji or countries in the Pacific where summers are already critically warm, 1.5 degree is a very big number. And again, but Honorable Bainimarama and his team um, uh, have speared all their efforts in the United Nations to see if we can't mitigate some of that going forward. I know you talked about Cyclone Yasa, so let me and the devastation it's caused
mm-hmm,
on December 17th, Thursday, December 17th. Ground zero for the cyclone was in Bua, in the Vanuatu.
mm-hmm,
This Category 5 cyclone is amongst some of the strongest natural disasters to hit Fiji and the neighboring islands.
mm-hmm,
The last time we had such a disaster was when Hurricane Winston hit our shores, and many of you will remember the
mm-hmm,
havoc that cyclone caused, because I think we had rugby sevens was in Vancouver,
mm-hmm,
and many of us, again, dug deep to help our folks in Fiji.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It
Cyclone Yasa is described as a monster cyclone. Well-built homes that you didn't think would be
mm-hmm,
destroyed by cyclones were destroyed. The eye of the storm, the red zone,
mm-hmm.
has affected nearly 100,000 Fijians, destroyed 2,000 homes, and severely damaged a further 5,000 homes.
Wow.
In this red zone, hundreds
Mm-hmm,
of families are now housed in tents
mm-hmm,
while the government is rebuilding their homes and their livelihoods.
mm-hmm,
Given the scale of impact of COVID-19
mm-hmm.
on Fiji's tourism-dependent economy, many of these families have already spent lots of energy and resources in developing their farms, their food gardens, and their livestock.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that this devastation now has put them back severely.
Wow. You know what? I'm so glad that you touched some points on how these cyclones happen. Right? We always think, oh, Mother Nature, but then there's so much more that goes on with it. Mr. Doing fundraising, etc., and how it's going to help. Let's talk a didn't help. How will the people suffer? I mean, we are very fortunate that we had the luxury, we have the luxury here, or we had someone here in Canada that sponsored us. We came to Canada, we migrated from Fiji somehow. Yes, life is all not rosy here in overseas Canada, but still, we are very fortunate to have what we have. So, if we were to what would our people, and when I say our people, I'm not saying our families, doesn't nationality, color they are, to me they are all one. So if we did not help Fiji in general, what is going to happen?
Yes, great question. I think what happens is, those who were born in Fiji, I was born in Fiji, so I remember some of the devastation. I remember Hurricane Bibi. Now, Hurricane Bibi by
Mm-hmm,
no means was a cyclone,
mm-hmm,
but I remember a corrugated iron roof flying all over the place. We had furniture flying, houses losing their structure. But we were kids, so we thought it was kind of fun, but it
mm-hmm.
wasn't fun. It's not fun when you have to rebuild not just your homes but your whole country.
Very
And
true.
being from Fiji, need to help. And as the generations, the third, second generation Fijians or kids of Fijians or grandkids of Fijians, they probably don't know what that devastation means. They go to Fiji, they go to a tourist area.
Yes, yeah. It's
They
all fun for us when we
it's
go
all
back
fun for us,
now.
right?
Yes.
So if we don't take this seriously and help, this will this devastation. So we're talking about rebuilding. I know there's some funds being raised and some funds were sent to Fiji, and I hear people saying, "Oh, okay, well, we've already sent the money. It's done. The cyclone's over with,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're done."
We've fed the people for now, right?
Right,
By sending the
exactly.
money. We've fed the people, we've taken care of them for now, like for this instant.
Exactly. The next stage, which is as critical or more critical, is the rebuilding of Fiji. As I said, Fiji is dependent on tourism. And if we don't get the country back in shape, we don't get electricity, we don't get drains cleaned out, we don't get our infrastructure back, that's going to affect tourism because, and if we lose tourism, we don't have anything else. And
Very
so
true.
I urge everyone to dig deep. I think, well, boy, what's $5? $5 or $20 or $100? How much impact is that going to make? Again, $5 times 1,000 people is
Yes.
a lot of money, and $5 Canadian goes a lot further in Fiji than it does in
In
Canada. So
Canada.
please don't go to our FundMe page. It's Cyclone Yasa Recovery in Fiji, and donate as much as you can, as little as you can afford. Nothing is too little, nothing is too much,
Yes.
because every penny will help schools that have been devastated. Kids already now they can't go to school. They don't have books, pencils, etc., etc.
And those kids are our future. And so, if we're only thinking about now, and I'm so glad that you came up with this idea of raising funds to help rebuild Fiji, we are investing in now and our future. So, I personally think that it is a very, very good opportunity for us, our people, and not just Fijians. Anyone that's listening to this radio, please help. And Mr. Naicker from Bulamasti radio side, you have our full support. And we have the GoFundMe page or the link set up on the website www.radiobulamasti.com, also on Bulamasti Radio Facebook page, so people can go and click. And it's so simple. It is so simple. You just click on that link. And thank you again for having this platform, this GoFundMe set up, so people can just go click on that link, click on your name there, put your credit card information, and then you submit. And if you don't want to be known, you can put your name as you don't want your name to be shown to the public. So very, very simple. Again, there's a lot of organizations that have raised the funds. They have already donated. We want to thank them as well. But this platform that we have set up right now, the GoFundMe page, Mr. Naicker, how else can people find that page? I'm sure you have your team working on this as well. There are sites they can go on to.
Yes. So if you would to click on to Cyclone Yasa Recovery in Fiji on the GoFundMe page, it'll open up. The great thing about the GoFundMe page is that in this day and age of the pandemic, nobody wants to go to the bank,
That's
and,
right.
and people are maybe frankly embarrassed to go to the bank to deposit $5 into an account. People, the volunteers don't want to go to homes and collect money. Those days are gone. So the GoFundMe page is painless and it's very translucent, so very transparent. $10 in, $5, $20, you can go click on and see that donation right posted on the page. You can see others that have donated. You can see anonymous donors. You can see the amounts grow. I look at it every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day, because I'm really anxious to see how we're doing and how we can do better.
I like I'm gonna drive myself crazy looking at this page every few minutes. Is there
I don't.
more donations coming in? It is exciting, and on the other hand, it is great to see that how our community is actually coming through and passing the message. And I see that this link has been shared by so many people. So I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you that are already doing so much towards helping rebuild Fiji. So yes, it is exciting. And it's good to see that we are all coming together in this and trying to represent Canada and and make us Fijians be proud living in Canada. And the good thing is this GoFundMe page, people can go and donate from anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
So there's
Exactly.
no
Just on a
limit.
credit card. And the other thing is we'll know exactly what the total is at the when we've completed our project. It'll be again on the very transparent on the page, so everyone will know how much we've raised. That money will go to the Prime Minister's fund in Fiji, and it'll be distributed through to Fijians all over the country, from Vanuatu to Viti. They've allocated fund. As a matter of fact, the Fiji government has set it up this time where if we collect a certain amount of money, 50% goes towards food in this area. I want 25% of the money to go towards shelter. I want 25% to go to rebuilding schools. So they've made it, Fiji government has made it very transparent as well, so that every Fijian, whatever their background, has access to that money. And they're going to be very transparent. They're going to send out reports of how that money has been spent. So really excited that they're doing all the right things, and the folks here are doing all the right things.
And I'm just so glad to hear, Mr. Naicker, that we are at least given the opportunity to have a say in where the money is going to go to. But like I'm using myself as an example. I'm living here in Canada. No, I hear from people what the challenges are, what people are going through, but I'm not living there to live what they are living. So I I personally want to leave it in the hands of the professionals, the government out there to distribute as, and that's this is just my opinion, to distribute how they see it's needed. It is hard for us to manage a household, let alone managing a country. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was in Fiji 27 years ago, that's when I migrated to Canada, from how Fiji was then to what Fiji has become now, all the rules, restrictions, the benefits people have, women's right, children's right. And I'm just so proud to say that I am proud of how far Fiji has come. I want to thank you as well, because I know you're directly related to the working directly with the government of Fiji. Thank you so much for everything that you have done, because I have left my nieces and nephews, my family in Fiji, that have a better place to live in than what I had. So this is why when I was approached on behalf of Radio Bulamasti, I did not hesitate to jump in and help in this cause. And I urge our Bulamasti listeners, our viewers, through different communities, please come out. And like Mr. Naicker said, if you can only afford to give $5, and the other thing is, I know there are some people that are, they are not comfortable. Please come to the Bula Masti studio, give me a call, and what I can do is take that cash from you. I can use my credit card, I can put that money into the GoFundMe account, and then print you a receipt right away. I can show you that your money has gone into the GoFundMe page. And just to reassure that Bula Masti Radio is a penny towards this, because Mr. Naicker, what I feel is people right now during this pandemic, they are donating the money they cannot afford.
Yes, exactly.
So please, when you are giving any donation, myself here, Bulamasti team is not going to charge a penny. Whatever we are giving, donating time, airtime, whatever it is all a donation from Bulamasti. So I'm glad to hear that Mr. Naicker, you're involved in this. And once again, the main question that comes up is, where is the money gonna go to, and how is this getting distributed?
Yes, and Fiji has a very great system of how they're going to distribute the money, or allocate the funds. So not so much the money, because they allocate the funds would be food, would be clothing, it'll be books and pencils, would be rebuilding the infrastructure. Farmers have lost their livestock, have lost their livelihood. So I think that you'll see that when the report comes back from the Fiji government, that the funds are coming from all over the world: New Zealand, Australia,
Yes.
U.S., England. I mean, I hear stories of individuals giving money, companies giving money, and we're talking to some of our own politicians to see if we can urge the Canadian government, the local, the federal government to maybe participate. So we're trying everything, and one of the things that our Prime Minister said is that Fijians are resilient. They this will not get them down. I mean, look at what the country has done with the pandemic. We're probably one of the safest countries in the world to live in. And
Yes.
when this is over with, and tourists can go back to Fiji, that tourists, I know I can't wait to get back to Fiji, and other tourists, because they're gonna know that Fiji is safe.
Yes, and you know what? Sometimes I see videos and stuff of people having parties and stuff, and I think twice. And then I realize, no, that's Fiji. They're not going through what we're going through here, pandemic, and the virus is just so out of control. A lot of kudos to the government of Fiji for making the decisions they have made to make it safe, make it a safe place for our people. So once again, Mr. Naicker, I know you're quite busy. Thank you so much for taking your time out today and coming on this platform. And like we said, you said we are in this together, and we want to help rebuild our Fiji together. So I want to take this opportunity and thank you. But if you have any more last words, if you want to add, you're most welcome.
I just want to say I appreciate given the opportunity to be on your show today, and to spread the message. I appreciate you spreading the message. I appreciate your listeners who are tuned in. Hopefully they'll hang up now and go to the FundMe page and donate, so that I'll give it an hour and go back and look again and see if that needle has risen. The one thing is that we can all watch that needle rise. Like, you
Yes.
get up in the morning,
Yeah.
go to the GoFundMe page, and that you've had something to do with that needle going up and up and up, and it's
Yes.
exciting. So those are my final thoughts.
Thank you very much, Mr. Naicker. It definitely is a good feeling when I see it go up, and it's like, okay, so we have raised 7,000, 6,000 now. Who else can I contact? Let's do some more announcement on the radio so we can keep that pot growing. So yes, it is exciting, even though it is said that what's happening in Fiji, but we can do this while having fun. So we can keep going on and on about this, Mr. Naicker. Thank you so much once again. Talk to you very, very soon. We'll stay in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Stay tuned to radiobulamasti.com. I am your host, Aisha.
In a world of technology, the future is online. Tune in to www.radiobulamasi.com.